So, hello everyone, and welcome to Blademaster's Forge. We have a special treat for you. I'm with you know who.
Car Dreamer, that's right. Still
Holy.
sleeping on the floor in the
Yeah.
hall.
Well, you gotta go somewhere. We have been moving things around in the room, so yeah. So yeah, welcome everybody. It's been a little while since yeah, video has gone up, and I've actually been sitting on this video for a while. I recorded this quest months ago. Um and I knew I wanted to do something in terms of like a commentary, but just the other day I was like, "Hey, Card Dreamer, do you want to do just like a hangout session where we talk about it, and we also just casually talk about all sorts of other things?" And yeah, you were on board, so yeah, we're kind of just gonna like hang out, and you can watch this G4 multi-monster quest. That yeah, it was just crazy. So, Card Dreamer, yeah, start talking.
I'm already watching because, as everybody can see, like the fighting is already started.
Yeah,
So, like, and this is not a monster in my um, play of Gen Ult thus far that I have actually encountered. So,
yeah,
it's really neat that it looks like kind of this overgrown baboon who just basically hit you with its ass.
yeah, exactly. He flings turds around as far as I know, and he like
So he's
flatulates all the time and jumps around. That's about it.
sounds like me.
But yeah, but oh man, it's amazing because oh, this quest, it was one of those ones where like I'm not proficient at this game like some people who are like running a heavy bow gun and like can take out everything in like 2 minutes. Using dual blades, fights can definitely last a little longer because the damage output is low. But yeah, this was definitely one of those hunts where like going in it, I was like, okay, every single minute, every single second has to be counting to like the most insane degree. Like there's no time. You've always got to be running somewhere. You've always got to be doing everything you possibly can, because you know like that first monster is going to take X amount of minutes, and then the second one, and then Mizutsune is the last one, a G4
Oh, man.
Mizutsune. So
Oh,
it's just like,
then you already know I'm like uber stoked because that's
oh
like
man,
my favorite looking monster
yeah,
of Jet Ult. So
oh man. So
yeah,
yeah,
it already starts off with two monsters like right there. Your Palico's been holding the other one at bay, which is pretty impressive. The little warthog. Not that he's a
oh
huge
yeah.
challenge, but so I mean,
This, yeah, to be honest, this one is like pretty easy. Like there are plenty of times where he does just like sit, um, and he's not like one of those ferocious ones that just comes like clawing at you constantly like Tigrex. So this one, I was like, okay, I can just wail on this guy. I can get this guy cleaned up pretty quick, like 5-10 minutes, depending on how things go. But yeah, it's one of those things where like you know the clock is ticking and you cannot let up. So yeah, it was crazy. So that being said, yeah, when was the last time you were digging into Gen Alt? I feel like I wouldn't mind jumping in sometime soon, but at the same time with Rise coming out, I might even just like hold off and get back to the Gen Alt like way down the road or something.
yeah, man, I haven't played Jet Ult since the last time we played together with Hikaru.
Yeah, that's ages ago.
I know. Well, it's because so. To be fair, though, it's not like I got out of Monster Hunter. I just, as you know, I prefer. There's something about World I prefer a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
So as long as we're all in a Monster Hunter groove, it doesn't matter which game.
Yep.
So, but Gen Ult is a great game. There is no arguing it. It's got much more variety in monsters than World, which I do like, and that's pretty actually cool. I didn't know this guy shot fire. So
Yeah, what's interesting is he eats different types of food from what I recall, and then he can like spew. Yeah, it's either coming out one end or it's coming out the other. But yeah,
but it doesn't give him heartburn. It gives him gas. Got it.
yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I haven't played her for
quite a while, but I still keep up with just what, like, because Hikaru still streams it, so I watch him play it and comment. And it's just, it is such a good game, but I think Rise will be where the channel's going to turn next. Not that we can't not that revisiting older games isn't going to happen, because I'm still wanting to do things with older games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't. There's a lot of General that I just haven't even seen yet. Like, I don't know if I've even seen this locale before, and it looks amazing.
Oh, dude! Like, there are sections we haven't seen it in this in like the few zones we've. Well, this is only the second zone of the map, but there are sections where you're going along like cliff ridges, and down below you just see the most tropical blue waters, and there's like beach shores, like all this kind of stuff, like white sands, and just beautiful stuff. I love it. It's
Is the Warthog following your team?
No, they're just everywhere, and they can be so pesky.
Interesting. Because it's funny, I didn't even see your Palicos even kill the first one, and like, oh no, they took. Okay, he's over there. He's dead now.
Man, I love the Akantor armor.
Dude, there's so much good-looking armor in General. That's the one thing I will definitely give General over World, is that just the different look to weapons and armor is so awesome.
Yep. There is such an abundance, it's not even funny. And I haven't even seen all of it yet myself.
For those who are watching, pronounce the names of your Palicos.
So Shez and Saged.
Sage. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I was kind of really more unsure of. I'm pretty sure I got Shays. All right. But
man, like, this looks so good. Like the background there, where like you see that rock formation coming out of the woods in the background. If my character would actually turn around, and like look, but yeah, it's crazy because like yeah, it's an amazing looking game, but at the same time, it's not like it's what it is on the Switch anyway. Like, I'm so pumped to see just what Rise looks like. And that's one thing I remember saying to you way back. Like, we had a chat ages ago about how, like, because this was essentially just a port with some extras loaded into it, we don't actually get to see like a Monster Hunter game in full glory on the Switch until Rise comes out. And that's where things are really going to be showcased, I feel.
Yeah, from what I can tell, the graphics in Rise, it's got a little bit of a more realistic design as far as the not realistic like world, but realistic in its style. It's not as cartoony presented, but the colors still have that brightness and vibrancy that General has.
Yep, totally.
So I think it's going to be a really good mix between the two.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Hammer Fist actually ordered 2 of the collector's editions or whatever. So he's sending one my way once he gets that. So I might not be like playing that day one, depending on when he gets it and then mails it to me and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm very interested in jumping in and just seeing what it's like, and whether I get pulled in like crazy or if it's just like, yeah, cool, I'll play this more casually, just like,
man, that's a
quest
big
here and
risk.
There. Yeah.
Trying it out without the plans in case you do. You need to make sure your calendar is cleared for like 3 months just in case you get wrapped in.
Just to get that first phase in. I do love the fact that like this Gen Alt is my most played video game of all time. And that's just within like a span of what, a year or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Ever since we had that discussion with Little CD about how to approach a game, like that was the turnaround you needed.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, like you went
man, what, like a month and a half, 2 months
I think
straight?
at least 2 months, like hours a day, and just getting so into it. And then I came away for a while, and then I got back into it for my. I'm not sure how many phases I've actually had now.
I think you've had two.
Yeah, I think so too. And my last one was like at least 200 hours of just nonstop, 5 hours of questing a day. Like, I personally don't actually want to play that much these days. Not even because of like things that I have going on, but just because like I genuinely am not interested in like just sitting there and devoting that kind of time. I would rather just have something more spaced out, especially when it's like a game that you know is not going to be wrapped up in like a couple days or a week. I would much rather just spread it out and enjoy it over a longer period of time.
Well, it makes sense too with all the life changes and everything else going on too. But like, yeah, I could never invest that much time that hardcore like you did. Like as much as I love World, I just can't. I'm surprised I gave as much time to games that I have. Like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
But come on, man. Why is this chump showing me like the same two biomes here? Come on. Does this guy even know how to play Monster Hunter?
Oh man.
Oh man, this such a good looking game. I really wish World got into a few more different biomes like that. Like, oh my
Look
gosh,
at
right
this.
there. Yes.
Like the colors, the blues, like you just want to be vacationing there.
I do. And
Finally, we have
right
the
before
map.
like the dinosaurs attack.
Yeah, seriously. Oh man, oh man. I was thinking about this earlier today. I was sitting in the living room having some coffee, and I was like, it would be so cool. Like, obviously, Monster Hunter is not about like sci-fi. It's kind of like more medieval-ish fantasy, obviously, but not even medieval. It's just like fantasy world with certain weapons. Like, there's a bit of sci-fi with like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to explain that. But anyway, the point I'm getting at
I said it, but
is,
I'm not explaining. You either got it or you didn't.
yeah, seriously, I'm not taking time for this. Um, but I was thinking how awesome it would be if like Monster Hunter got to the point where you were like uh using like wormholes or even spaceships to like go to other planets and just like so one whole planet could just be like frozen and just all these ice type creatures, monsters. Another one could be like just a prehistoric planet with nothing but like dinosaur creatures and all this stuff, and you could just go all over the universe and just doing way more than just like, oh, okay, we're going to this village now and there are these monsters.
So Star Wars Monster Hunter.
Yeah, pretty much.
That would actually be kind of neat.
Yeah, where you can like use a pod racer to get around.
That's awesome. Could put like Jar Jar's head on the front on the hood of your car.
Yeah.
I kind of want that game now.
Yeah, I
could
think
see
it'd be
that hunting
so
rancors and like the crate dragons and all the other different monsters.
Oh man. Gotta love those times where you're like swiping at air because you just happen to not be close enough.
Yeah, yeah, this is one of those games where
Oh,
no matter how close you think you are, it fucks with you.
Yep.
As far as the depth goes, like you're never quite as close as you think you are, but they're close enough to hit you, no problem.
Yeah, of course. There could easily be like cues or something. See, these are my Keizu daggers paying off with the electricity or whatever, the shock or paralyze or whatever it is. Because I knew like, okay, I'm gonna need that in this quest, that is for sure. But yeah, Nargacuga is like one just like Tigrex, where it's like he's just always on your ass. I think Tigrex is actually more of a nuisance because he just does that clawing dash towards you, and then he does it like 2 more times or more.
Yep.
But Nargacuga is still so deadly; it's ridiculous.
No, Narga. I always found like even though Tigrex is more aggressive,
Mhm.
he's a little more predictable. and
Yeah,
what
I
he's
could.
doing to avoid.
Yeah, yeah, that for
Nargacuga
sure.
is a little too all over the place,
Yep.
like a pinball game. You don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, you never know what he's gonna do next.
I also like how, because I don't think World does it, but I think it's interesting. Like the way weapons hit monsters in this game is it's a red splash, but it's not quite blood. So they give you the kind of the subtle hint or innuendo or emphasis that you're kind of attacking a monster and it kind of wants to make it be bloody, but not. But technically, it's not blood.
Yeah. Oh man. Absolute evasion is like the best thing. Everyone raves about what is it, absolute readiness or something, because like it's the sort of the opposite of absolute evasion. So for evasion, when you do your escape dash, you put your weapons away. Whereas people rave about absolute readiness because you pull your weapons out after the dash and it sharpens them a bit. But like I find that to be such a nuisance because it's like half the time it doesn't sharpen anything to the degree I want it. So it's like, what's the point? And when I am pulling my weapons out, that means I'm running slower. So I'm either like just taking the time to put it away and then run, whereas I can just do absolute evasion and just be sprinting like crazy. So, oh, I love absolute evasion. It was like the best thing about Gen Ult.
I think I would tend to agree. I would like evasion a little better, but I can see the benefit of readiness though.
Oh,
like
for sure.
if you dodge if you dodge the right way, then you're dodging right there to be able to just start wailing on the monster.
Yep, definitely. But most of the time, like I'm never in a situation where I want to be like diving towards the creature. It's like I have no issue like just running in and attacking. So in that sense, like for me, it just makes more sense to have like that precaution, like that way out of a situation. Like I cannot tell you how many millions of times I've used absolute evasion like right at the last second, and that has just saved me from taking like a huge hit.
No, this is true. I remember when you first started getting like that was your battle cry, absolute evasion.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And it charges so fast. I love it.
It really does. Like, yeah. None of the other two are charged yet, and absolute evasion's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
That time it looked like you just used it for fun. It's just like
yes.
it's
Oh yeah. Seriously. Sometimes I just use it for like, yeah, not necessarily escaping at the last second, but just like giving myself a little breathing room, or even if I literally just want my weapons away faster than actually putting them away, I will use absolute evasion because it's nothing to just charge it up after a few hits or whatever.
Well, yeah, look, it charged up almost like two. Yeah, you got to use it, or you're ready to use it a second time, and the time it took just to charge up the other two once.
Yeah. And because I'm going up against a hyper, if I'm attacking like the black smoke parts, that charges even way faster for everything, which is a bonus.
Oh, is that the distinction with hyper monsters? That they have
those spots.
Okay.
But it means that if you're hit by, like when they charge up and they hit you with those black, like so if it's the black spot on the tail and it charges up and swipes me with that, I'm taking like the biggest hit. More so than like if it was just a normal one hitting me with its tail. So you really, really got to be careful.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're just crazy. Yeah, it'll be interesting when I do jump into this because there's still plenty I have not done yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you like, even Hikaru, I remember, was like blown away by how quickly you went through the hypers and the G fights. Like they weren't meant to be soloed. And Dace is like, hold my beer, I got this.
Oh man. Yeah, I love conquering this kind of stuff by myself. Like, obviously, I had a huge part of my last phase, the 200 hours, was just jumping into multiplayer with the whole online community, and that was awesome. I did plenty of that, but there's still that part of me that is just like, yeah, I want to do all of this by myself.
I don't blame you. Like, I'm the same way. If I can avoid multiplayer, I will. Yeah, I avoid it. Monster Hunter, and it's funny you say that because World is the only game I have never mind. I don't mind playing with others, and I don't even care if they're randos or not. It doesn't bother me.
Yep. Yeah, I'm this like, well, yeah, my experience with online multiplayer games is extremely limited. But when it comes to Gen Alt, I don't care who it is as long as you're yeah, as long as you're not just like letting the whole team down constantly.
I think that's kind of the beauty of Monster Hunter, at least depending on how you approach it. Like, because for me, I'm really not. So, with the exception of like the end game bosses in, let's say, World, for instance, like Alatreon and or Alatreon and Fatalis. If I'm doing those, I'm not doing it with randoms. I'm going to try to do them with a group of people I know.
Oh yeah.
But in general, all the other monsters in that game, I'm not gonna take on the monster unless I feel I can hold my own anyway.
Yep.
So it doesn't bother me to play with others. And of course, I know I at one point was a noob, and I still suck to some degree. I'm nowhere near as really not that great of a player. I can hold my own. I'm decent, but like I know there's plenty of players way better. So I don't care if they mess up or whatever. Now, if it's dumb stuff, I'll start getting annoyed if it's just dumb after one thing after another.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for
sure.
For the most part, like, you know, we've all been on that road where it's bad luck or whatever, like bad luck, or you're just having a tough time keeping pace, whatever the case may be. I get it. It doesn't bother me. Monster Hunter is the only game that really does not bother me to play with random people.
Yeah, for sure. I think like one of the things I keep an eye on is like those people who like if someone dies too early, they're just like, "Ooh, F this," and then they just like leave the quest. And it's just like, okay, well, I'll finish it off by myself or with this one other person now. Because yeah, we aren't quitters. We can actually like do this without being like, yeah, babies about it. Just saying. Or
I said, I'm out of
people,
this discussion. I quit.
Or like another thing that I will like avoid if I start seeing it is like if we've done like let's say 3 attempts and it's always the same few people that are dying way too early, or they're not like I'm at the start of the quest and I'm seeing that they're not using certain potions like I am to prepare to like give them that extra this or that extra that. It's just like, well, okay, you must think you're going to be surviving long enough, and those are always the people to be dying first. And it's just like, okay, like there are items to use that will give you this extra stuff. Like you people know this. Like there's no way you don't know it. Because it's like
although
the most...
ironically speaking, because I remember when you first started playing, you were like, I mean, you just strong man that you didn't really know what the other stuff did.
Yeah, exactly.
You brought your potions, you're like, I don't care, I'm just gonna burn through potions, I'll collect the herbs, I'm just gonna heal myself through this.
Yeah.
And you got pretty darn far just on that mentality, but
totally.
Like, I mean, yeah, you have to admit you reached a point where you need to know. Yeah, you realize that you really need to know this game and what it offers to make the most of it.
Absolutely. It's like night and day if you aren't utilizing. And that's the thing too, because like some of these people have like way higher ranks than I do. So it's like you're not telling me that you don't know how you can extend your life bar or this or that, but they're just not doing these things. And then when they die, it's like, well, seriously, what did you expect? Like, yeah.
Man, maybe, I cannot believe this Narcocuga is not dead yet.
Oh, man. And that's the crazy thing, because, like, sometimes going into a G4 or whatever multi-monster hunt, it's like you have the first one done in 5-7 minutes, and you're like, okay, like, that's only 5 minutes. That's only 7 minutes. There's plenty of time for just cleaning up the next 2 monsters, but then that next one takes, like, 15-20 minutes, and then the next one is like, oh, man, the clock is already, like, down to the last chunk. So you're even more desperate to just be like going crazy. Otherwise, you know that whole 50 minutes is like down the drain.
True. Like this is a perfect moment. Like, dang, look how quick that absolute evasion went up.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm not kidding when I say I use it all the time. And there
Now,
goes Blood Wind 3.
why is your 3 skills flashing the way they are?
I forget what it's called, but there's some sort of like special something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is though. Oh,
Just like they're just flashing because I'm a badass.
Yeah, seriously. Man, it's funny because like, yeah, the way this game works, like it's just with the 50-minute time limit. You would think that's like all the time in the world sometimes, but at the same time, it just isn't. And it's amazing how many more quests I would be able to polish off if there was just no clock. If you had all the time in the world, sure, some quests might take like an hour and a half if you're just like hanging on and you're just using herbs. But yeah, when you only have 50 minutes, you've got to make sure you're actually bringing everything down in that time.
Which was sometimes my weakness, is I played it a little too safe, and even though I wasn't fainting or whatever, I just wasn't doing the damage.
Yep. Yeah, it's nasty business. And also, like, with the limitation of, like, only being able to have so many traps and so many this, so many that, like if I could have 20 traps, like, these fights would be a breeze. Like, you would just be trapping, like, every 2 minutes and just laying into the monsters, but it's also really balanced by limiting you to how many things you can bring and have, because that way it means you've got to be playing well, you've got to be doing the damage.
Now, Nargacuga does not seem to be going all over the map like he normally does. Like, you seem to be keeping him in the same, like, couple areas.
Yeah, and he's taken off to go to sleep right now because he was limping.
Oh, there he goes. He's all the way to 7.
Yeah, the water in the background there.
I love the layering that in this game.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's funny because, like, when you know the creature is going to sleep in a quest like this, it's like you don't even feel like you have a breather. It's just like, okay, we've just got to trap this thing. We've just got to hurry everything up. Let's go. Because I'm all, like, guaranteed right now, like, in the game, I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, oh my god, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, yeah, because you're also, like, panicking too, because you're like, I don't want him to heal. Like,
yeah,
all that work I just did to get him there, I don't need him to heal.
Okay, he's asleep. Perfect. Sharpen. Flies are buzzing around my ass.
I was saying, it looks like Tinkerbell's entire family's like hovering around you.
The tank. Oh man, oh man.
This is just nuts. Like, it's just one to the next to the next.
Seriously. Can you imagine like a boss rush mode where you go up against all 93 monsters in Genald?
I can honestly I could see that happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or like an arena room where it's like one huge arena, like it's a valley, but every single monster is in there, like Rathalos, Rathian, Fatalis, like just everything. Like, it would be insane seeing someone pull that off.
I could see them doing the boss rush mode and then being dicks like the people behind Rock Band, where you have to do, like, they would make a special reward or achievement where you have to do the entire thing in one sitting.
Oh man,
because they did that for Rock Band, where you had to play the entire set list.
Oh man, that's
one
so
sitting.
Crazy. Probably just for like an achievement or something.
It was for an achievement, and you had to do it in one sitting.
Oh.
The achievement was actually called Bladder of Steel.
Yeah.
So people would actually have to get friends over and just like trade off the guitar. Or
whatever. Man, that's nuts. So here's our G4 Hyper Mizusune.
Dude, I loved, like, how can you not love the design, just the look of him? He may not be the most fun, like, or fascinating moveset wise or ability wise, but just the look of him.
Oh,
He's just this colorful, like traditional Eastern dragon.
oh man, oh man. There are just such nasty moves this thing has. Like when it does the tail smash or just anything. Oh, you just don't want to be in the way.
And then he blows a bubble, and you want to give him a hug.
Oh, brutal. It's like get in there and just get doing things because that guy is going to be up in no time.
Your one palico was being a little piece of sedge, part of my. He was just jumping around like, dude, you gonna hit?
Oh man, oh man. Yeah, I was not taking those bubbles. For the longest time, the dive that I just did there, for the longest time I did not realize that you could like do that on command and you can use it to like escape. You can use the frames to escape and it is like a lifesaver.
Oh yeah, it's been nicknamed the Superman dive.
Yes, sweet.
Because you do it in World too. That you're invincible when you do it.
Yeah, amazing.
I just like to pretend I tripped and fell.
Yeah. Oh man, oh man. But yeah, there are 20 minutes left in the hunt. Not that, well, I won't say how much time I actually take, but believe me, when you're in these quests, your eyes, like, you got one eye on the clock and one eye on the monster the whole time.
And then when you're finally done playing for the night, your girlfriend's asking, why are you cross-eyed?
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, Autumn is really stoked for Monster Hunter Rise as well. That is just going to be something else. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I remember just being so blown away when I saw the announcement trailer because I was just like, wow, this is like Breath of the Wild except badass because it's Monster Hunter.
Well, I guess we know how he feels about Breath of the Wild.
Well, I had a wicked time with the game, but at the same time, I feel like it's just like a lot of hype.
It was. I feel like it was more set pieces than actual game. If that makes sense. Like, it was more... They put so much emphasis on look at the vast world you can explore, and something got lost as far as everything else goes, like story and...
Yeah, when I was playing, I didn't give a shit about the story. I had no idea what the hell was even going on in the story. And to be honest, I've never been into Princess Zelda. Like I don't care what kind of like relationship her and Link have going on. It's just like when I'm Link or when I'm playing as Link, I want to just be like exploring like forgotten islands and just like scaling cliffs and like gliding all over the place and just like doing all these things. I just do not care about the story, especially like obviously Link's Awakening is an exception, but like when it comes to Breath of the Wild, for me it was never about the story. It was all about the exploration.
So I agree with you as far as like Breath of the Wild goes. To me, yeah, the story just wasn't hooking me.
Yeah, exactly.
But every other Zelda I played, whether it was... I'm going to exclude the very first Zelda because that was kind of... I mean, it was the first one, and there really wasn't much of... Like, there was no real narrative with the first story.
Yeah.
Narratives didn't really start coming until the second one.
Yeah.
But, like, with the Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, those are where I started getting into... I actually got into the story, but I feel like the elements of the game, the gameplay, like the combat, the music, the soundtrack, your next phase, everything came together to help tell the story. Breath of the Wild, I feel like, did not do any of that.
Yeah. And I will clarify, like, I love the story of, like, I haven't played the N64 ones or, like, a lot of the like new or semi-newer ones. Like I've more or less only played A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and of course Breath of the Wild. So like I loved every single one of the Game Boy ones I played. Those stories were awesome. The worlds were awesome. Everything was awesome. But yeah, Breath of the Wild was just a little too not Zelda. Like with the shrines, like yeah, we could essentially just turn this whole episode into like a discussion about like Breath of the
Zelda.
Wild.
We're watching Monster Hunter. Everybody's like, why are they talking about Zelda?
Yeah. Oh, but yeah. But that being said, like I still had an amazing time with it. It was my first open world game ever, and it was unlike anything I had ever played.
And Monster Hunter comes along, and you're like, damn, Zelda sucks.
Yeah, and this isn't even open world. But yeah, tying that back to yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, like seeing the character in the announcement trailer, like just like scaling cliffs and like jumping and like using whatever that lightning whip is or whatever the case, and just knowing like, wow, if we can do some exploration, even if like it doesn't even have to be fully open world. I have no idea what it's going to be like, if it is or not, but even if we have a portion of like open world but Monster Hunter style, like that will just be incredible.
No, totally agree, and I'm so stoked to even these games, like when they were in this trend, whether it was Gentle, I know Monster Hunter 3 looked this way.
Yep.
Even Monster Hunter 1, the first one, isn't that far off from this. So
I agree. It's pretty similar.
Like, even though there's different little map sections with their own little biomes, like it still feels open because they drastically and yet naturally seem to change into one section to the other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're coming from the shore, and then you might come to a flooded little area, and then one's more of a beachy, sandy area. Like they all seem to flow and connect in the right ways. That makes it feel open. Like even here, you feel, even though you're only playing on a small section, the way it's laid out with the beach and all that far horizon, it makes it feel open. And I also like the way the monsters correlate and seem to fight more on their elemental turf. Like he's bubbles in water, so he's sticking near the water, and he's sticking in an area that has the water.
Yeah, totally. Like as far as I know, you never see him go into the caves here or anything like that.
Yeah, whereas Nargacuga was more like a jungle cat. He stayed in the jungle areas.
Absolutely, man.
And I don't even think World quite nailed that the way this does. Like that's, I like the subtlety in that.
Yeah, that's a great observation. I don't think I've ever paid attention to that before or noticed it, to be honest. Like, yeah, sure, I've certainly known, like, when I go into this quest or that quest, I know exactly where, like, monsters, like, which rooms they're not going to go into and which ones they always go to or which ones they always go to sleep in, that sort of stuff, I definitely know. But I never related it to, like, yeah, monster type and just, like, that kind of elemental relationship with the nature itself.
See, even I can shed some light on things.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So right now I'm probably heading back to the chest just to get like some drops that came or something. Yeah, just to like pick up that because I was probably getting low on stuff or whatever. Man. Deodorant. Roll into the chest.
It's funny, this like Monster Hunter gives the names to these things that don't quite. It's just funny that I'm glad they kind of streamline things in World where half the stuff doesn't exist, but it's kind of like you get that deodorant cancels out whatever odor,
like
that it gives you,
or whatever. I forget what it's called.
Right, but like really, what kind of status effect is this anyway?
Yeah.
Like, it's just. It's funny that they do it, but at the same time, really?
Yeah, there are some very strange things that I've noticed in general. Like, one of the things is, like, I think it's either Rathian or Rathalos or both. like when they come to a screeching halt when they're like charging at you and then they slow down, it's the sound of like car brakes or something. It's so strange. And like that to me kind of like sure, some people are probably like, "Oh yeah, it's funny because it's like Monster Hunter and they're known for that," but it's like let's like have some like realistic stuff going on here for a change.
Which is what I like. Yeah, which is kind of what I liked about World, where like they don't use the paintballs in World, and
Yep.
you have the track flies, which
I love that
feels
idea
more.
too.
I feel so much more natural.
Yeah, totally. And you feel more like a tracker in ways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, as soon as I get my Xbox from you, I'll be playing World. No, we both know Rise is gonna be like, yeah. If I'm playing anything Monster Hunter, like in terms of like a new one I haven't touched before, it's gonna be Rise for quite a long time.
Yeah, I could get you an Xbox and you could have it there tomorrow. You're not gonna touch it for 3 years. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Autumn would play the PS4 before you ever played the Xbox. Be like, nope, I don't care if you're playing Fallout 4 finally, Autumn. I got my Switch right here. I got a Switch to play.
Oh man. Yeah, in the last portion of my last phase, like I started tackling some very tricky hunts solo, and some where you just go in knowing it's gonna be like the most tedious nonsense, and it is, and you just get it done. But man, like for instance, there's like a I forget which one, but it's like a gold Wrath, is it Silver Rathian or Gold Rathian? It's like there's a gold and silver, and there's a Rathian and a Rathalos. I forget which is which, but they're both in this like arena, and you're tackling both of them at the same time. And sure, you can hit a switch with a big hammer to like put the gates up in the middle, so that you can like separate the two, and just like deal with one at a time. But it is still so pesky.
Oh yeah, no, you still got to deal with the pair in World. Now, maybe it's just me and I haven't noticed.
Yep.
But as far as I recall seeing, I would have to study more with Gentle. But okay, so he's gonna do it. No, he didn't even do it here. So is it me? No, because now he's in a bio or an area where there's no water.
Oh, he is in one of the caves now. What the hell? I didn't even realize that.
But I haven't seen him do any real water attacks. Like, he hasn't shot water. It's almost like it's playing now, because like I mentioned, they stick to their natural areas. But like now, it seems like when he gets away from the because he does water, so now that he's away from water, he's not really doing his water attack. Almost like it plays up.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention, so I'm not sure. But that's something. Get on the case.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. He's narrating his own battle that he's not paying attention to.
Yeah. Man, there's no time to pay attention in these hunts. You just gotta be like blades blazing, and that's all that counts.
Now he's doing way more bubbles now that he's outside. I know he did a few in the cave, but now that he's outside, it just seems like that was double already right there.
Yeah. And the first thing I did when we came into this room was like the paintball, because I haven't had like an insane amount of these situations happen, but when you know you're getting close to the clock being done and you just happen to run out of that paintball on the creature and you didn't do another one, and then you're literally running around for 2-3 minutes just
I hate that.
And it's just like, you gotta be joking me. Like, we have got to get this thing going here. Like, what the hell?
Yes.
It's, that is like so like desperate panic mode.
Totally agree.
Oh man, oh man. But it's crazy that we're at 44 minutes already.
Down to the wire.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he isn't going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe he's been lying this whole video.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's for sure.
He just shot the water. I don't recall him doing it in the cave. I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
It's like, how are those mushrooms still standing?
Right?
Yeah.
It'd be not. That would have been an interesting detail. They didn't even put in World, like when they do roll around like that and don't
Things are
fall
just
down.
smushed.
Yeah, that there was more of a trample.
Oh, he's paralyzed or shocked or something.
He's just one of those things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what, as long as he's like down for a few seconds just to wail on him. Absolute evasion, folks. Read it and weep. It's like, what is even gonna happen? Oh. Oh. When you're like fiddling around, swatting at flies, and the monster's already behind you again. Absolute evasion, folks.
You're charging it so fast, it's ridiculous.
Oh, man, you gotta do something when you're in the heat of it. I remember this part, like when you're up against the stone face of like or whatever, that section, and he has you like pinned, and you're just like, okay, well, if I'm stuck here, I'm just going nuts. Because like, I'm not getting out anytime soon.
It's always the worst feeling when a monster's got you pinned and you know it.
Yeah.
You're like, gotta get out, because you can't heal, you really do feel trapped.
Or like when you have no, like, you've got to like fiddle with your camera angle because you have no idea where they are or what's going on all of a sudden. And it's just like, okay, just like get me far away so I can actually just take a look at what is going on here. I totally remember doing this part of the quest. I was just like, the clock is almost out and we are just like still wailing on this guy. Like, what is it gonna take? Like, are you kidding me? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might have been one of my first G4 hyper, like, monster hunts.
I mean, you're doing really good. Hasn't been too many instances where your health has dropped dangerously low.
Yeah. Oh, that is like a sigh of relief. Limping with 5 minutes.
Sometimes, though, I think the game plays you, and they make them limp earlier than they need to just to torment you and teach you, like, because I swear there's been times like, oh, he's limping, he's almost dead. 20 minutes later, you're still wailing away on the
like,
limping
like,
monster.
what on earth? And it's like, you don't even want to enter. You want to just like give it that extra time just to make sure. Oh man, oh man.
Back in the cave.
See, it's like I came in here thinking like, okay, he's bound to be like asleep or something. But no, maybe it's because I didn't wait long enough, or I misinterpreted the. Oh, and then that's the worst, when you have like bubbles on and when you've got to be throwing stuff. Oh, down to the wire, peeps. Seriously,
It really was.
I was so relieved when I did this, and stoked, because it's like, yeah, how many people solo this kind of stuff? Oh, even though like I'm not the greatest player, I was just like, wow, I did it. Oh man, oh man.
When God Mode Dace tells you he's not the greatest player, okay? Now you know he's just mocking you people.
Oh, well, there are videos I've watched of people who literally just like stand there. They like move out of the way, like dagger slashes. They just like move out of the way, like all these tiny, like, one step here, one step there. You're constantly just like doing damage, and they do like stuff like these quests in like 5-10 minutes or just whatever ridiculous amount. So I definitely don't play at that level. To be honest, I don't even have an interest in like grinding out that kind of skill level.
Nope, makes sense. Man, that was good.
Oh man. So yeah, this is one of my favorite places in the game. I selected the music for this place And there's something so nice about like whether you're about to start a quest or you have just like finished your session for the night. I like one thing that always I just loved doing was just hanging out, essentially going through my inventory, going through like this or that, going through menus, just like organizing things or like whatever, and just enjoying it, just
Yep.
relaxing, and then polishing off every session by having my character go to sleep in the bed. There was just something so wholesome and complete about it.
I totally agree. My a little CD and my brother always call me like, "You're so slow, just getting started and ready for quests." I'm like, I don't understand how when you don't get something new, whether it's new jewels or new augments or you can upgrade your weapons, why you don't. Like, why would you just want to rush into the next thing? Why wouldn't you want to be at your best?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, there was like a huge part. Like for me, I loved like for instance in Genel, when you have the ability to go to like different villages and stuff, I would go out questing in different villages, but there was always something so wonderful about going back to Bernie Village or whatever it's called, Berna, and like going to my own home and like sleeping in that bed and just so like just this idea of like adding more realism to it just with my imagination, like wow, I've been away for weeks hunting these monsters and now I'm finally home, the fresh Berna air, the mountains in the background, like just adding that kind of extra layer to it. Oh, it's just such a comfort. It's so cool.
It is. But the
But
video was
yeah,
done.
yep. So anyway, yeah, I suppose we can just wrap this up then. I want to thank everybody for checking out this epic hunt. Let me know in the comments below, or let us know if you played Genalt as well, and yeah, maybe what some of your favorite monsters are, what you thought of this quest, if you've ever tackled it solo, or what weapon you used, whatever. Cardrummer, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to know what your what was your most epic down to the wire fight was. How did it end? Did you win? Did you lose? How many minutes or seconds were left? That's what I want to know. I
Oh
want more
man,
of those tales.
yeah, for sure.
And then I want to give
perhaps,
special thanks to Dace for not kicking me out of the apartment.
yeah. Well, I'm keeping you around for reasons we won't mention.
Not here anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we maybe in the future we'll do more stuff like this where we kind of just like sit back, hang out, and just chat while showcasing different hunts here and there. And of course, with Rise coming, we'll do that too. So we'll see what is in the works, everybody. But yeah,
Till then, see you later.
take care, everyone. Bye.